Can you?
No. Kai, you gotta turn on your mic. I'm just trying to shut the comments off. There we go. There he is. Can't hear you.
No,
There's never any problems on Instagram.
I know, and it just so happens like on this day of all freaking
It
days.
always happens. You know
Yeah.
what? Kai, yeah, comments are off, so we can't even communicate. I'm gonna text him.
Text him.
We're gonna get ripped by all the other bodybuilding platforms right now. They
That's
guys couldn't
okay.
even put an Instagram live together.
Well, it's really they should be barking up on Instagram.
I can't. I just text Kai. Let's see. I just text you, Kai.
I never seen that happen.
Nah, he can't. He's got full access. I just looked. Kai's got full access to
What
talk.
about like? Because I know on mine, like you can control, let's say, like the microphone on the app itself. Like,
nope. My mic, your mic. Yeah, no, he's not. Nope. He should automatically. Nope. Come back out and come back in. Yeah. Let him come back in. Yeah, let's see. Well, that's a cool picture.
yeah,
It looks like it's going to be
that's a per Bernal pick.
still. Is everybody Android phone? Is it something different? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So fucking crazy. Yeah, no, I can't do anything.
So he would have to leave.
As I said, just exit out. I text him, exit out, and join back.
Okay, so he just did.
Okay,
All right,
so
everybody. Apologies. I mean, of course, this is a technical difficulty which we don't have any control over. But as you can see, I mean, Kai is available, so we're hopefully going to get him back on.
Yeah.
And otherwise, he and I are going to have the craziest staring contest of all time.
Or you could have said whatever you wanted to him, and he can't answer you back.
This is true too. He has my cell phone, so he would have just blew that up.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Why are these people trying to get in? Oh, here he is. Let's see. No, I have his mic on. It's on. Let's see what happens. It's on. So I just invited them back.
What's up?
Oh,
okay.
All we needed was a drum roll. Bang! What's good? What's good? What's good?
I apologize on behalf of Meta and Instagram platforms around the world, because now when I get my ass reamed from all the other outlets out there about how we can't get an Instagram live together, is not our fault. But I'm happy, elated to have Kai and Phill here. I've known Phill since he turned pro. I've known Kai since he's 17 years old. No one has been told what to say, what they couldn't say, so they could say whatever they want.
Oh, well, that's what's up. What's up? You know, I guess the first thing what I'd like to do is just say good afternoon, gentlemen. It's definitely a wonderful honor to be here. I wanted to congratulate you both for taking on the roles that you're taking on now, stepping into. I believe this is the first time I've ever gotten a chance to see something like this being done, particularly at a time when we need it. You know, Frank Seppi, you in the storytelling now, bodybuilding, and helping people advance. Real talk, that's it's crazy, and I think there's a lot of good that can be done, you know, for the sport and for the benefit of all the fans and enthusiasts, you know, and even people that are just looking to make some changes in their lives. This is a wonderful platform. This is a tremendous platform to have, I think. So yeah, I'm really, really honored to be here today. Thank you, Phill, for inviting me.
Yeah, man. I'm the honor is mine. Like, it's my honor to have you on here, because you and I have really been tied at the hip throughout our entire career, both on and off the stage. And I'm very thankful, like I was earlier this year when we were, at the Arnold, to be able to do something different, to be able to talk and be open and to just share space, right? But also to be on the other side, because there's so many other athletes that didn't get to make it on the other side. And we're on that other side, healthy, still thriving, still in the sport, still, creating our communities, creating our legacies, redefining ourselves, overall just evolving. And, it's just really neat. And like I was telling everybody before, this is the first time you and I have done an IG live.
Wow.
Like this is like crazy. I mean, like when Frankie's talking about like these media outlets talking trash, I'm like, they can say what all they want. They could not get Kai and I together though.
But look, you can't talk about Olympia history without talking about you two guys. I mean, I've seen your clip go viral numerous times on the Olympia Instagram when you guys were at the press conference, the Olympia press conference. Your battles are legendary on stage. I mean, you can't really talk about the Olympia unless you talk about you guys and your battles. You had probably the best or one of the best battles, Ronnie and Jay, you guys. I mean, but you're the younger, you're the younger to this generation, obviously, than Jay and Ronnie. But you guys are Olympia history, and I mean, you are both looked upon as, the I would say the end all be all of the sport. Phil, you won the Olympia 7 times. Kai, you don't shortchange yourself. I mean, if there was no Phill Heath, you would have
I've said it,
Olympias.
dude. I've
That's
said it.
insane. Like,
I've said it numerous
yeah, dude.
times that if I hadn't done what I did, if I didn't even have Kai, it would have been a lot less enjoyable, in my opinion, because you're only as good as who you stand next to.
Yeah.
Period. Like
Right.
there's another person that could win 10 Mr. Olympias, but they would still be compared to different eras because of who they stood next to.
Yeah.
So I get to say that I stood next to Kai because he was a great athlete, a tremendous poser, some of the greatest poses we've seen on the Olympic stage with the level of density and muscularity and conditioning. These are things that we don't even see today, which is it's really badass, in my opinion, to be able to say, you know what, I stood next to a guy that, I'm from the West Coast, he's from the East Coast. We met in the middle, and we always made sure we got it on. You know what I mean? Like, and it was fast. I mean, and I've shared this with you, Kai, a few times. I think it's important that we do these things more often than not do these things together online or in person, because the fans and then just the overall legacy, we're tied at the hip no matter what. And it's important for allowing people to see what we feel after competing or even while we were competing, and what we would want to share with the audience on how they should compete today. Because I'm just going to say it. You don't have to respond if you don't want to. But I feel that Kai and I were some of the most competitive bodybuilders ever. Not just great bodybuilders. I think to be an awesome bodybuilder, you have to be competitive. Like the spirit, from the spirit. You know that Kai was working out. You know that I was training very, very hard. You know that we would eat rocks and glass if we had to win. And I think sometimes now, with the way people present themselves, like they don't train as hard, they may not diet as hard, they may not suffer. I've got stories about Kai. Like I remember when Kai we were getting ready for a show, and you were on the step mill, and I'm over here training with Hani, and I'm like, he's on this step mill all freaking night. I guarantee he's going to be on there all night. And I got to be, and it's like, who's going to leave the gym first? Well, and it's like, I don't know if other people have those stories. That's why I value our story very much.
Well, here's the difference, Kai, right? When you guys went into a contest, they said, which guy's going to win? They didn't say, oh, Phil's coming in the show, he's going to be top 5. They didn't say Kai's going into the show, he could make top 5. They're like, which guy is going to win the show?
Well, I'll say this: if you remember, I remember being, I remember being in the gym, and a gentleman was looking at a poster on the wall, and on the wall there was an advertisement for an athlete that had just turned pro that was going to be guest posing, and he was known for having these notoriously round muscles. And I remember looking at the poster, and I'd made an inquiry to, there was a guy who was like a guy I kind of looked up to and trained with. His name was Rodney. I don't know if you remember Rodney St. Cloud.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
He
But
trained at Bob's gym.
yeah. We had looked at this photo, and I remember it was like Phil was going to be guest posing, and at that time I hadn't met you before. I never got a chance to see you in person, and I remember, um, gleefully talking about the roundness of his muscles, and how excited I was that this guy had turned pro, and the way he looked, and at that time there was a certain kind of development and polish and things in my physique that was still light years away from ever coming into fruition. And I looked at this poster though, and I remember marveling at this, and I remember Rodney was disappointed in me almost. It's like almost like, hey man, come on, man, what's wrong with you? Like, you're gonna have to compete against this guy one day. Like, you shouldn't even, you know, if you're the truth, is what he said.
Right.
If you're the truth. And I remember at the time, thinking that it was nothing wrong with being able to respect, look up to, and admire. And at that time, I wasn't looking at myself in the picture in the future. It was almost just a fan of the sport, because I was, as long as I can remember, I was a fan of the sport, and appreciated the opportunity that I think the sport helped me to discover and realize for myself. But at the time, yeah, it was like looking, as we did when we looked at the magazines, we looked at the posters, and you looked at the athletes. There was never a question at that time in your mind of imagining being able to compete against, Lee Haney. Lee Haney was one of the posters, one of the gods on the wall. Like Biggie said, it was all a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. The photos and pictures on the wall, the posters, and I didn't know. I didn't even. I had no clue how our paths would cross, and just how very closely aligned we would end up finding ourselves at another time. It's just crazy. So yeah, I really appreciate you saying what you said, and I think and the appreciation is mutual. I think that Frank Seppi, when I was a teenager standing there watching you on stage, dominating and destroying.
Kai, we're from New York. If you sucked, I'd be like, Kai, you suck. You would have done. We're the one thing we're straight
I
up.
can attest to that because the show that Kai's talking about, I guest posed for Steve, and there were some crickets on that stage as I was getting off stage, bro. And I remember Factory Mubrak had to go up on there and actually tell everybody, hey, man, you need to clap for him because this guy just won the Mr. USA. And people were like, yeah. And Victor, thank God, Victor Martinez was like the OG, was like, y'all need to clap.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because if you don't bring it to New York, they will let you know. And what's really badass about that was I felt that energy on that stage. I was like, man, they're so used to seeing these more well-developed bodybuilders. I got to come back better. I ended up doing the New York Pro and winning that. But when Kai made the switch, oh my gosh, when you talk about guest posing, so here I am guest posing. What Kai just said, I guest posed in New York right after I turned pro. Kai then comes to Colorado and guest poses at a Jeff Taylor show. This wasn't the same Kai Greene I saw at the Colorado Pro.
Oh.
This dude came back from the back of the entrance. Usually you come out on stage, stage left or stage right. He came from the rear of the facility, and walked through, and everybody was just like in awe. And I'm standing there with my jaw dropped too, like, this dude just put on like 30 pounds. How am I gonna get with that? like how am I gonna figure this out? And it's just all those things, man, like it would play through my head. No one else in this sport had me thinking like that. Like, wait a minute. And it's because we turned pro, I believe, the same year. We did our pro debut at the same time, the Colorado Pro. I won it the first year. The second year, our pro year, you won the Colorado Pro.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
it was
first
like
year,
we were
yeah.
like right there, right
Yeah.
there, right there. And
Yeah,
it's just
that's right.
it's just very interesting how everything aligns itself, and there's no other story like it. That's why I think it's just so awesome.
This
Yep,
is
but
East
at
Coast,
that
West
show, you
Coast.
came in first. You were number one, and I was somewhere way down there, like past 14. I think it was the big thing for me back then was being able to be able to have my posing just placed high enough to have my posing routine considered in like the best posing or best presentation award or something like that. I think Sean Ray did the Colorado Pro with I think Biotech that year. Was it Biotech?
Yeah. Back in the day.
It's
Yeah.
either that or Muscle Tech, right?
No, it was Biotech. It was
Company.
Biotech back then, right?
And I think the year before that, Durham Charles had won that show.
No, no, not the Sean Ray. Because Sean Ray did it the first year Sean Ray did it, I won it.
No. You definitely no. The year that I came, I remember.
Because then you won the following year.
Right. So I think it was the year prior.
Darren got second.
Before you were there,
Oh.
Durham had won.
Oh.
The next year, that was my first year being there. And you came in and destroyed. I think Gary Stridham. This was
wow.
appearance from Gary Stridham.
He made a comeback. Yes,
he made a comeback, and I thought he looked amazing. And to see him backstage or anything, I didn't get a chance to really watch him on stage, just because I think the close proximity with like.
I think from the front he was good, but I think he turned around and it wasn't as like wide and proportionate to his legs but he was still like, it was. I agree with you. I still saw some old man muscle on there that I was like,
to
me, he just looked like he was an amazing condition because he had to be well over 50 at the time.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
What was Gary Stridham? So that year, Gary Stridham, I think, placed fourth at the Colorado Pro. Where did he place? Do you remember?
Yeah, because I think who got third was, I think David Henry got third.
Really?
Crazy too.
212?
Crazy.
Yeah, dude. David Henry actually placed. I want to say he placed third the following weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because it went. Yeah, I believe it went me, Darren.
Yep.
David, and then Dennis James in New York.
Oh,
I believe.
That's right.
I believe that
he swept through. I think he swept through. Yeah.
And then we bypassed Olympia and then did all that, and then But let me ask you, Kai. Like, I was curious about this. Like, what was one of your favorite Olympia moments? I mean, every time I would compete there, it's not like I won every one of them, right? So, like, there was a year, like, even you placed ahead of me in 2009, and
I like the way he said that. Even you.
I mean, shit. I mean,
so there was the infamous quad stomp year with Jay, right? And that was the year everybody thought. I think Dexter Jackson was at the top of his game going into the show. He was the reigning Mr. Olympia. A lot of people thought it was going to be a more streamlined physique that the judges were looking for. There was a changing of the guards. You need to come in big and hard. I'm not big and hard. You need to come in streamlined. Everybody was trying to come in, or at least I don't know. I didn't know the smart money was on what Jay did. I guess we found out after the fact, right?
Yeah, we found
Um,
out big time. That was
and it
months.
caused everyone to be, run. I went out that year. I went to train at in. There used to be a gym that doesn't exist anymore. I believe one night, one of the only times we ever got a chance to train together, which was after the fact. There was a gym. I
Was that in
think
Cali?
you.
Was that with Donnelly?
In Vegas?
Yes, Alan Donnelly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And it was nighttime.
Nighttime. It was super
Sometime
late.
like some ungodly late, like it was
It was
late.
late. It was late. That had to have been in California. I want to say it might. I think that gym's still around, Kai. No,
Yeah.
it might be.
Nah,
No,
nah. That gym was closed. Everyone did their photo shoots and stuff in that
Chatsworth
gym.
Powerhouse Gym.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The
Chatsworth
gym
Powerhouse
was
Gym.
What did you
Yeah.
train at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Of course
Calves
we
and
did
abs?
back.
yeah, it was
Of course we did
bad.
back. Kai's doing back. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to improve
Yeah.
this body part. I might as well just, yeah. All right, go ahead, Kai. Go ahead. You know.
I think if you were asking me one of the times I mean everyone has to have memorable moments, I think
Yeah.
that was definitely one of them because that was the first time that I can recall and have always remembered that uh we ever got a chance to kind of train and mix it up behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
There was some cameras around, I think, in the beginning of it, but for the most part, um,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. They didn't follow that.
yeah.
As
It
as
was
as close as we I mean at the time, like we both worked with Weeder. And I would say if they could all go back in time, they probably would have had cameras on us nonstop and probably had us do more things together because we didn't even do one photo shoot together.
no.
I
Well,
think it,
here's the thing. My moment with Weeder
yeah.
in the office. I mean,
Oh
this
yeah,
was
we
the
did the contest.
Oh,
Yes,
that's right.
yes. So everybody's like right to passage. There used to be this landmark event that would happen in the lives of pro bodybuilders when they would, so somewhat have that dream of going to California, being invited by Joe Weider, invited to the headquarters, the Weider headquarters and come to Joe Weider's office and kind of get shown around and then, start, you know, taking off their shirt and have to pose for the Master Blaster himself in that great getting up moment. We've seen the best of the best, Lee Haney, Franco Colombo, Chris Dickerson, you
Mr.
know,
Olympia.
the
Yeah.
opportunities of having the Master Blaster put his hands on your shoulders and kind of smile and pose for the camera. When that moment finally happened for me, now I was ready, ready, ready. I'd spent many, many, many years, working and believing and my moment when it came, it was there with you, Phil.
Oh, wow.
So Phil was there.
He said I needed my moment. Like, what are you talking about?
Yo, I mean,
Why do I have to
yeah,
share these moments with him? Him?
yeah. This is also while they were working the campaign for a series of I guess video shoots we had to do.
Yes, it
Um,
was to see who got the cover of Flex magazine,
yeah,
and we let the
Oh,
fans decide. It was actually a pretty good campaign, I thought.
it was around the time that you had actual candidates running for presidential office. So you had a Barack
Yeah,
Obama and
that's right. That's right.
yeah. So, and you know what? To believe it or not, I did not know that when we walked around, the whole of Weeder Publishing, I mean, I did not know that not as long as a short time after that, everything would be closed. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Sad.
this was we were technically witnessing the end
Yep.
of the true dynasty. I mean, that was, Weeder. I mean, Weeder Publishing was the hallmark. It was the thing that through its photographs, its writings, its publishings, it my I guess my my growth and development as a kid, growing into becoming what I thought was going to be a meaningful pro career, getting the acknowledgement of Weeder. you
Yep.
know, there used to be a fantasy that, only the lucky bodybuilders that, if you were worthy, if you could win your pro card, if you could, then maybe you could get the honor to move out to California
Right.
and be confirmed by the master blaster himself and get a Weeder publishing deal which ultimately meant that you now had, the funding to be able to live as a professional athlete, a certified professional bodybuilder. Um, and yeah,
What
it
made you
was.
stay in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born in New York. I was born in New York. Yeah, I was
So
born in New York.
you were just like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not gonna go out to Cali and do the whole thing that you just
Well,
mentioned.
I actually did. I did move out to LA for a minute and the the bodybuilding dream experience. And yeah, I thought it was interesting, man. I did not know that the magazines, when all of that stuff was like about to change, social
Yeah.
media was coming. I didn't know how significant and powerful it was going to be. Like now, it would seem like, you know, the gate, if you want to call it that, the way you get into the magazines, well, the way you get into the spotlight now, it's all changed. It's all changed a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not the same.
But there was a time when you waited 3 months to get the results from the show. You know,
Yeah.
True.
you,
Yeah.
you couldn't get a phone call and just find out immediately unless you knew somebody that knew
Yeah. You had
somebody
to
that
know
was
someone that
plugged
went.
in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you guys met Joe Weider? What did he say to you?
Oh, I remember we were in his office and it was like a it was like a time where like a dad would he steps in
Hmm.
and we're looking at this big massive table and he basically told Kai and I, he like grabs our hands. I don't know if you remember this, Kai, and he says, neither one of us should ever undercut one another because he
Oh,
created all of this for each of us to have a slice of, this experience, like this whole ecosystem that basically was predicated on the hard work of himself and his brother, and obviously, some help. But through the magazines came, supplements and equipment and
hmm,
everything else. I mean, he was like the guy.
Yeah, that
And
was the
that always
blueprint.
that always stuck with me because I was like, you know what?
Hmm.
He is right. Like, no matter how intense our rivalry can become, we should always root for the other person to thrive financially and through our health and be able to walk out here with a great experience. Whether you win or lose, like you don't want to, like, I would never be like, oh yeah, don't hire Kai, like for
yeah,
an appearance, because if I always told people, if he's making money, then I'm going to make money too. If he has opportunity, I have an opportunity as well. If he's not, because we can only guest post so many weekends in a row, right? So like maybe he's booked and the promoter says, "Oh, I tried to get Kai. Hey, Phill, like, can you come?" Or Phill, you. As a matter of fact, there was a guy by the name of James Senna out of Pueblo, Colorado. Like, he needed me to guest post, and I said, "I can't. I'm booked." He says, "Who can you get? Help me out." And he named some guys, and I said, "Dude, you need to get Kai Greene there, dude." Like, and Kai came, and it was, you know. Pueblo, Colorado is like a very small town. It's like 300,000. Yeah, very small town. But this
mm,
promoter gave every person a chance to pose for at least 3 minutes. So
Mm.
as an amateur, like, you're like, wait a minute, like, I can just go up there. It doesn't matter if I look good or not. Like, they're not going to cut the music off. So a lot of people
Mm.
come, and
you have a
Kai
good
was able to
spot.
guest pose there, and it always made me feel good. Like we can, iron sharpens iron. Like, we can help one another and keep it professional, nonstop. So that's one of my best memories of meeting Joe with Kai is that it was always, hey, I know you guys want to get this Olympia title. I know you guys want this really bad, but you guys need to make sure that you take care of one another. Always take care of one another when you can.
What about you, Kai?
Nah. I wanted to beat this dude. I wanted
I
to
want to beat
kill him.
him too, but I
Honestly,
mean, like,
I
I ain't
wanted
gonna.
to. And here's the funny part. The funny part is that I I I did not I did not I did not feel as healthy about it. Just gonna be honest. I mean, I probably shouldn't say it. In fact, there's a part of me right now that's like
Yes,
holding
yeah.
my under the table, like nah. But yeah, I really did want to beat you, and I did not want to. And you know, I think there's and I really did believe that you really wanted to beat me, and I really did feel that if I wasn't 100%, man, it really would possibly not go down the way that I wanted it to. So I really, I stayed up very, very late at night. I took risks. I made sure I did things that that I look back on now, and I hear you, and I'm like, man, Phill sounds so well adjusted. He sounds so mature. He sounds rational. He sounds reasonable. He sounds like a champion, and I just have to, it's one of those moments where I almost, I still question, I question my ability to be as transparent, if it's intelligent to be as transparent. But yeah, man, I think that, I think you were an awesome competitor. I think that ferocious. I remember seeing an interview, I think it was Generation Iron 1. I saw this. I saw Generation Iron 1. I sat in the same movie theater. Because we went to the
Yeah.
The premieres in both LA and
the
in New York.
premiere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
And I swear I had to. I saw Phill say something about when you know he was gonna hit back, you know,
Uh-oh.
and I don't want to say till this day, but I mean, man, I
He was like,
remember
man, bring it there. Yeah, yeah.
I had tears welling up in my eyes. I remember feeling like, yo, I felt like, you know what I felt like? I felt like the first time I saw the movie, some movies that you watch and you can't watch them because if you watch them, they kind of inspire you to go to a place inside your head that's like, yo,
Yeah.
I can't let people see me,
Right.
experiencing it. It's like the first time Michael Jackson's Billie Jean came on, you know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
had that uncle
Yeah.
at the party that's just going to just let you know how he feels.
He was about to go off. He was about to go off, man. I mean, look, like I think I've had those moments. I definitely had those moments. Uh, you drove me insane. You drove me nuts. I'd be like, "Fuck this guy." Like I would literally say this to myself. And of course, like now, that's why I say evolved. And it took a lot of. I ain't gonna lie, man. It really took a lot of work, and I'm still working on it. And but it's something to honor as well. To say,
Hell
you know
yeah,
what,
absolutely.
it's something to honor, and I think that's why this is so cool that we get to have these moments. Is that it's great to honor the fact that once upon a time in a far, far land, Kai Greene and Phill Heath would get in each other's face, and people would go nuts. Or like we know that they're both training for the Olympia, and that's why people would buy their freaking tickets to go watch us compete. And you know, I wish we could have never stopped because like I say, you're only as good as who you stand next to. But it's great to have an awesome running mate when you're going for something such as that title. Like you want to know that, like, if I screw up, this dude is gonna win. Like that's my mindset. I was like, Phill, like this guy, like he's got his crew. Like you already know he's from New York. Like they're telling him like straight out the gate, like you can't be losing to this dude, light skin, green eye. Like you can't be losing to this cat, man. Like nah, man, you represent the hood. Like I know that because if I was living back in Seattle around my boys that I grew up with, they would be hounding me. They'd be like, "Don't go out like that. Like, don't be his friend.
Yeah.
Don't." And we were able to do that and to bring each other up, and it was just dope, man. It was just freaking dope. And I understand, like, it didn't go your way as far as winning an Olympia, but I would put, like, I have never not once said to anyone, and I never will, and act like you weren't the guy that would push me. There are only two guys, like in my opinion, it was Jay and you. That was it. No one else would be like, oh man, I got to do extra this or extra that. Like, and that's no shade. It's just there's a difference between a physique and an aura and all of it combined. And you exemplify that because that's how you impose your will on another individual. And a lot of people in the sport they can't conceptualize that, in my opinion, that there's some people that just walk into a room and you just know that there's energy. There's energy, bro. There's just energy. And when you combine that with the actual work, it's a different vibe, bro. Like if I know that I'm back there and I'm looking over here and I see Kai oiling up and Carla's putting the finishing touches on him and stuff, and I'm seeing him hit them back shots and everything's like, I'm like, man, hold up, man, hold up, That's what it's about. And I think that's what makes the Olympia what it is that you have those rivalries and you have those fans that we've made over the course of a decade and a half, 2 decades going on. I mean, damn, it's been 2 decades.
Look,
a lot of people had a lot of things to say. I think when you're in the spotlight, and you're at the top of your game, they're everyone sees you, because you're at the top. And when you're the man at the top, everybody's gunning for you, and I tell you, as much as I wanted to win, and here's another thing too about identifying what it means to win, because there's some lessons that you don't get the chance to get it until you're exposed to it, until you're forced to, So we're saying that placing second, number 2 in the pecking order, that was just amazing. There was a time when it was very difficult for me to want to articulate that and to quietly accept that. So yeah, I had to look for just for my own therapy, ways to be okay with that. But I want to say that the dude was that good. Like it's one thing when your boys will tell you, oh, you know what, Kai? Oh man, yeah, absolutely. But there are those times when you sit back and you can look and and you had to be honest with yourself about, wow, this guy was really, really that good, and there's something about when the fans don't get a chance to hear you say that publicly, that it can always be, well, you never know, question, but behind the scenes, there's those moments when, I mean, there are times when you definitely, you have your questions, but all around, just identifying at least why it is the value for me to see our ability to be where we are, recognize the growth in just personal development, which is what I was, I actually inspired me to share with you what I said when we were on stage at the Arnold. There was opportunity for and help for growth in me because of the fact that you were so good, you know. And there'll be a lot of times in your life when you're not allowed or forced
Yeah.
get certain lessons, you know. And I think, you know, a person can be that much better for having that. Um, I think I'm a hell of a lot better today. Um, so it's helped me grow as a man. The fact that you were the athlete, that you were the competitor, that you were, and things happened the way that they did. You won. You got top honors, and with that, you know went on to be the 7-time Mr. Olympia. Like, um, um, and this is why, at the end of the day, when some time passed and then you would come back to the sport, you
Hmm.
came back to the Olympia, and you technically were competing on a stage at a time that I really didn't think you needed to do, you know.
Yeah.
But you did. And you know you know things happened, and there were changes that were made in the criteria. Changed it. There's some changes
Yeah.
that were made, you know.
There are some changes,
Some
bro.
changes
Yeah.
that were made, that I did not understand. Now, behind the scenes, I was the dude that never, dude. I, I, I really wanted to beat you, you
Yes.
know. So, you know, and the way some other things happened when it did, it just,
Well,
um, I don't want to say anything that would inflame anyone. A lot of times you don't know who's listening to you, and
yeah,
sometimes people can feel insulted and offended, and
a
an
lot of us.
ounce of caution could make you know be so much more than a pound of cure.
Another
Um,
day.
Certainly not to inflame anyone, but yeah, man, real talk. I didn't agree. I didn't agree with. And I felt like I was by myself in my space going, wait a minute. When have you ever heard? And it seemed like the people that I heard talking about justifying how this happened and that happened. It's like, hell no. This is like, so yeah, man, I had to call you. I had to
Yeah.
call you, you know.
And I appreciate that. That was arguably one of the most defining moments in my bodybuilding life and life in general because I didn't want to hear from anybody.
Mm.
I mean, let's face it, like like when you win that many times and stuff, and and in the way that I did lose, I was like, okay, you can't change it now, so it's like don't matter what you say, right? But then you're just like, what game are you guys freaking watching? And I'm just like, okay, all right, what do I do? And then the phone rang and it was you, and I was just like, man, and what those words I will never forget. And I again appreciate it. Mind you, you said "f you, Phil" about 5 times, but that's okay because you thought it was on a recorded line, Frankie. So, but he was. I believe it was more like comic relief from like an actual friend, like trying to ease the blow of what occurred. But to have your peer, the guy that you went to battle with, who when you go to battle like Kai and I have, you
Hmm.
get to know each other without even speaking because you
Yeah.
observe everything they do. You study them. Like I studied Kai. I read those articles. I watched him. I knew what he was doing. I would
Yeah.
have people telling me, Kai was at the gym today, man. He looking swole as hell, man. You better do something. I'm like, all right, all right, all right.
Bill, I could have saved you 20 years, just on the fact that Kai coming, like I'm from Brooklyn, Queens, Kai coming from poor neighborhood into Woodland Hills where a $300,000 horse is in it's Joe Weider's thing coming up, and he knows that he has to beat whoever's in front of him, and he doesn't trust anybody because he's from Brooklyn and Queens. He doesn't want to hear from anybody. So anything that was said in that room, he was just like, I gotta beat everybody, this person in this room. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not trusting anybody. They can all kiss my ass. I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna compete and let the chips fall where they may. that's pretty much the attitude, because you're not going in there like, especially meeting somebody for the first time, saying, "Oh, okay, this is the way it is." He's like, "No, this is what I'm gonna do."
Yeah. And I respect it. I love it. But yeah, like, 2018 sucked. That was terrible. You learn a lot, during those moments, and you find out who your friends are. You find out who cares about you as a human being. At that point in time, I was like, wow, like Kai actually cares about me as a human being, and that goes a long way because, I can't say I was there for other people like that. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, like because bodybuilding can really harden a man's soul. Because something that very few people can even muster up the energy to do on an amateur level, let alone a pro level and Olympia level.
Oh, yeah.
And you just think to yourself, like, it's just me, me, me. I don't care about anybody else. Like I can't care about him. I can't care about his feelings because it's gonna make me not do as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when I would go against Jay Cutler. Like Jay, everybody knows Jay and I are friends. So, but it was up until the point in 2010, Jay literally said, like, "Hey, if you want to be the champ, man, you can't. You got to put that to the side, bro. Like, you got to go for it." He's like, "I'm gonna be okay," and I was like, "Okay," and that helped me. But yeah, I feel like just like how any champion when they lose a title, they feel they got robbed. you know,
Look,
um,
I
but
smell a Generation Iron documentary right
well.
now. This is don't say too much right now. Let's turn it back to the
I
Olympia.
I
I'm
feel like
look,
I feel like Kai and I could easily, and I've said
Nick
this
Cage.
before. I've said this before, and I want everybody to just flood our DMs with this. Kai and I flood our DMs with this idea.
Yeah, man.
I think Kai and I should at some point go on tour and just have these type of chats in front of a larger audience. Have someone moderate. It doesn't have to be as friendly. I mean, obviously, when I say friendly, like it means like the stories that were like
Yeah.
in those moments. Like you could say whatever you want because we've all moved on. But I think there's so much to unpack still, and I think the even current younger generation needs to know like what extremely healthy competition looks like because I don't feel like this day and age with participation awards and all these other things like people know what real grit like real getting after it really looks like, and we have to be the ones that champion that. But then also for the sport, they say for the culture, I think for the bodybuilding culture, if anyone saw Kai and I walk in the room, it's going to get quiet because there's an energy. And I feel like it's a good call to action to see like where we could use that energy to help bring something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's at the end of the day there's a lot of meat left on that bone, if you know what I'm saying.
Well,
So
there was
like
meat left on the bone to begin with, because there was a lot of meat on that bone.
I'd like to see, like, first stop is August 15th, Bev Francis 40-year Powerhouse Gym
oh yeah,
Party.
this
And
weekend.
we're
Yeah.
gonna be there.
That's
So
right.
I'll see you guys there. We're
That's
gonna have
right.
a podcast
That'll
going
be
on, but
dope. That'll be
we'll
dope.
keep it short there.
Ah,
But
he said keep it short.
we'll keep it short there, because it's a party, man. We'll be in a room. I'm not gonna go deep, we'll get interviews separately. But I would think that being at these events, the Olympia Expo and all these seminars, people would love to have you two come out there and just ask you all types of questions. Now, of course, the history, but they want to know how you guys continually got in that shape for Mr. Olympia and stayed on top for that many years and won the shows that you did, because there's one thing to do it, but there's another thing to do it consistently.
Well,
So
also at a 2 day show. And I think that
exactly.
and I think
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
I think a lot of people, I mean, that's a whole nother hour long conversation. But
Mm.
I think the state of bodybuilding the way it is right now, the reason why it's hard for a lot of the guys in the open to look good at the Olympia is because of it being a 2 day show. Now, I think it should stay a 2 day show just
Mm.
because you are Mr. Olympia. Like you should go
Yeah.
through the depths of hell, like to and also to earn that type of money. I mean, like you should be able to put forth that type of effort, and that's why you get to take home, those coveted awards. But I think it's it's really difficult for guys to do that. And I think like Kai and I, like we are masters at our craft and we understand the recipe for success. And I think that's what's transferable to a lot of other people in their journey of excellence, of personal perseverance, because it's not always easy. There might have been a prep where you felt like things were easy, but if you were to write it down, it was still hard. It was still hard. You just made difficult look habitual. Like you just made it look easy. So I think there's definitely a way for us. And again, I just think it's important that we pour into the youth. I think it's necessary because if we don't and we see content out there that we don't like, who are we to blame?
Whose name's first
Yeah.
on whose name's first on the workout program? Is it Phill, or is it Kai, or is it superhero training?
Well, dude, trust me, man. I had a kid yesterday ask me about progressive overload, and I was like, "All right, who do you follow?" And I'm thinking he's gonna say, one of the OGs or something. He said some, he said some guy on TikTok, and I was like, I said, well, I just told him, I said, well, at least you came to me now, but it's important. I think it's definitely important. So. At the end of the day, Kai, like you got my line, you already know, like, and if there's any, and I'm just gonna put it out here since we're talking as bros right now. It's like if there's something that Kai Greene wants to do, because you have a different creative mindset. If there's something that you have in your head that you're like, you know what, I think we would do well at this. I think we talk because I think it's always good for conversation at the end of the day.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I'm being your DMs, partner. Absolutely.
Well, will I see you on Saturday or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 15th. That's absolutely.
Yeah.
Come to the podcast, you get a free shake. Look, I just throw it out there. Albert Beckles, rest in peace, great guy, won the Niagara, at 61 years old? So I would love to see, look at this prize money just going up, up, up.
Man, honestly, Phill, just being healthy, seeing you thrive. I mean, to be very honest with you, that is like one of the things that is golden. That is golden now, and it becomes even more valuable as we get older. When I wanted to beat you competitively, and I was, I had no idea of how uplifting it could be, to think about hearing that your rival is thriving and healthy and experiencing the things that technically you want to experience in your life. You get what I'm saying? And and that's the thing that I think is a very important part to the competitive overdrive that you were talking about. A lot of the younger athletes that are coming up now and that are best and to do their best and to be hungry. It's an interesting thing because 30 years ago we didn't get a chance to see what 30 years from now could look like, when running when running certain programs and protocols. You get what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that a person can do when they don't know any better, and they don't have a question, or an example of what it can look like, so getting a chance to see you still thriving and healthy and in shape, successful, it is inspiring to me even today. I'm just gonna be very, very real with you. And yeah, man, it is definitely a tall responsibility. But yeah, man, it belongs to you, it belongs to us. And I am very, very I am very thankful, to see you continuing to thrive and to see you healthy, and to see you looking like you are youthful and doing well. And not saying anything negative about anybody else, but it is very inspiring to me. you know. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that
No,
because
I appreciate
that
it.
is definitely what's
That's
up.
awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because like you said, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Some of us aren't here. Some of us are not in good shape, and you never. It's not like anyone would ever wish that on anyone. Um, we all want to be on. I always look at my life right now as like being on the back nine of this golf course, and how I play it. I got to play it smart, But what got me to this back nine is trying to be as smart as I could. So I'm thankful for that. Uh, Lord knows I'm thankful for that, and I feel the same way about you because with there not being, we lost some good dudes that we traveled the world with, and when you hear about these things, you're just like, damn, man, I traveled the world with these guys, or I talked to his family, or I knew his girlfriend. I remember that one time we all got stuck at the airport, or whatever it is, like and you just they're not here, and you just learn like, yeah, that's part of the game. That's part of the game. That's the part of the game. And you actually touched on it in Generation Nine. You're just like talking about, or actually, no, it was in Breaking Olympia. Thank you. Like just talking about being healthy, keeping it all together, staying healthy.
Yeah.
And you can stay in that game. And part of the game now is being able to be the evidence of what you were just describing. You got to be the evidence that it's possible.
Yes.
And I think without us, like, yeah, man, like people would just be very reckless, I think. Like, yeah. And I really do hope, like, people are watching and understand, like, Kai and I lived separate lives, but at the same time, we were trying to do something very extreme. And to be able to walk on the other side and have a lot of knowledge behind it, I think is very valuable for people to ask questions and to understand also that the juice isn't always worth the squeeze, no pun intended. So you have to be mindful of that, because there's the other side of life that you have to realize, like, man, like I could have really been investing my time and my money into other things and preserve certain health. I mean, like, you talk about Albert Beckles being 60, 61, like, as much as I loved competing and stuff, I made a decision not to, because I knew, I was like, what if something bad happened? Or what if my ego got out of control? And there was something on a piece of blood work that I was like, you know what, screw that. I'm just going to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at this one. I'm going to try everything this time. Any trick that I ever had, I'm just going to do it. And next thing you know, Phill Heath is 290 pounds and this and that. And it's like, dude, like, not healthy, man. And then something bad happens, and for what?
Just be me and Kai sitting here talking.
Talking about whoa.
Right.
Yeah, man. So on a positive though, we are here, we are alive and well, and we're going to be at the Olympia this year. I hope everybody gets their tickets. They need to get those damn tickets. If they don't get the tickets, you're not going to be able to actually see these people up close. I mean, Kai, like, you and I both know, like, when you go to a bodybuilding show, it's one thing to try to adjudicate something on a screen. But when you're there and you're watching it live, you're able to see how the muscle pushes up against the skin, the reduction of water and fat, and you can see the discrepancies that photos don't always allow. I think but then also you get to see the emotion. It's hard to capture emotion. And Kai, I know you're an artist, so you have that eye and you have that, but you're able to capture more, I would say, watching it, right, than just.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Well, quiet is kept. There's an artist in all of us, real talk, and there's nobody that's going to build a physique like you've been able to do, or Frank has been able to do, or without being able to tap into that. A lot of times we don't give ourselves license to take the credit, but yeah, man, there's an there's an eye for that you have to have in order to pose like you did, in order to put the physique together as you do, and even to start putting together the rhythm to like follow, even just you're putting your notes together to train. It's like there's an art form to this. It's not just There's an art in logic. There's an art in theory. You can see that. You can see it expressed, and you can see art expressed in numbers and theory, in ways that you just got to be able to allow yourself to. But if you do, you'll see the patterns, and those patterns, that is art. So yeah.
But
You
you're right,
anticipate?
Phil. You're
What's
right.
that?
Because backstage, you'll have an entire group of people look up at an LED screen that's totally cloudy and be like, "It's on, he's got it." And then you go around
Yeah, that's
and
right.
watch it live, and you're like, "That guy's got striated quads that you
That's
don't
right. That
see
you
on
couldn't
that
see on the
screen." And
LED
it's like,
You
screen.
can't see it.
you
You can't
gotta
see
see
that
Right.
degree
Olympia
of.
live.
That's right.
Like
You
even
couldn't
when I
see
do
it.
the,
You
even when
couldn't
I
see it
do
on
the,
Instagram. You
yeah,
couldn't see it.
even when I'm doing the live stream,
Mm.
I normally go backstage to go see the athlete
Yeah,
before they go on. Because
Mm.
Frankie, you'll be with me. Like we'll be
yeah,
talking and stuff, and
yeah.
I'll go see him because I have to see it real quick. Remember, I think it was last year. I was like, "Hey, can you
Ma-
take that light and put it on?"
yeah,
It was
Martin
it was
Fitzwater's
on Martin.
hamstring. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not seeing this on the
Mhm.
screen as well as I am in person. So
Mm.
that's why people need to go see this in person because you also get away from that armchair quarterback mentality where you just go online and then you start doing the circles and then the
Yeah.
lines and stuff. And I'm like,
Filter.
you're not understanding something. That is not the naked eye.
Right.
There is always a filter. Every
That's right.
photographer known the man.
That's
That's
right.
why if back in the day, if you had Flex magazine and you
Hmm.
have MD, Iron Man, they all had different photographers and they all had a different style. So
Yep.
if you got
Mm.
all the magazines, you're like,
Mm.
wait a minute. Like a Paragonella shot is different than a Chris Lund or whoever shot,
Yep.
like
Jason
or
Breeze.
Yeah.
Jason Breeze. I
Yeah.
mean, or Kevin Horton. Like
Mhm.
all these guys were
Yeah.
different. So, and that's what made the magazine so great because you got a variety of different looks, but now you have a variety of different videographers. But that's why you need to see it with your own eyes so you can make your own
100%.
like your own, because the eyes won't lie, but those pages will, those pictures will. And I would,
Well,
I couldn't imagine just having the opportunity to go watch a show live and then not doing it because I'd rather just sit at home and watch it on the screen.
Mm.
I need to collect that data,
yeah.
especially for an aspiring bodybuilder,
Mm.
a
Oh,
person
yeah.
that wants to turn pro and or is pro and wants to understand like what the environment looks like. They should go to the Olympia. They should go to these shows because then you will run into. I mean, Kai, I don't have to tell you, man. Like you'll be walking through a hotel and probably run into the same person 3 times throughout the Olympia
Yeah,
weekend.
that's right. You
It
will.
happens every time. Like
Yeah.
every year, you'll run it, and next thing you know, that person becomes like your internet friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
so there's so many cool. I mean, I've met so many fans that became friends of mine
That's right.
just
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
walking through the Orleans. Like
That's right.
Fans
grabbing a
for
bite to
life.
eat. It's wild, but it
Yeah.
happens.
You don't go to a concert. Like, you hear a song on the radio, it's like, or not even radio anymore, where you hear it. And you're like, okay, that's a good song. But when you go to a concert and you
Oh,
see that person perform it, like he was talking about Michael Jackson. Like, can you imagine being in the Apollo Theater in 1983 or 2, watching Michael Jackson do Billie Jean?
Jackson.
oh
You'd
man,
never
Oh,
forget it.
okay.
So
it'll
you
blown the
have to
roof
be at the
off.
Olympia to catch the vibe and the energy of what's going on. Like,
Mhm.
you hear Steve's voice as the head judge. All right, ladies, let's go. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, everyone's like, step off the line, step on. It's like, you have to see. If you've never seen a bodybuilding show live, you have to go to the Mr. Olympia. Obviously, we talk about it being the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. Comment Vegas in DMs or the comments on Instagram, and you'll get a link to tickets. But the Olympia Expo keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's a pool party this year with Meet the Olympians, and I mean that's crazy for where it's evolved from, back in the day. It just keeps getting like bigger and just more things happen, but we
Mm.
can't forget the history of bodybuilders and who's achieved what.
Yeah.
I think that's the heart and soul of
Yeah.
the Mr. Olympia, of the people that did it before and the people that were warriors. They say step into the arena to Orleans. Well, you guys are the modern day gladiators that stepped into the arena and competed, and that shouldn't be forgotten. That story should be told.
Absolutely, 100%. It has to always be told. I think every year is an opportunity to be able to do those
Yeah,
things.
that's right. That is
Um,
right.
you
That is
know,
right.
I and again, I mean, I just got to say it, like, you guys got to see it. I
Yeah.
still remember seeing my first Olympia. It was '05. Ronnie won. Jay got second.
Oh,
And I remember sitting in the audience and I was just
New
like,
York.
no, no, no,
Mm,
no, no. That was at the Orleans, bro. That was the
Oh, New
first
Orleans.
time.
Oh,
mm,
okay.
And it was at the Orleans, and I was like, man, like one day, that's where it starts. It's like
mm,
Yeah.
it literally starts just like that. You're
Okay.
sitting there and like I'm sitting there in the
mm.
cheap seats, by the way. Like I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
rookie, right? Joe did not give me like front row, and that had to be earned. He's like, hey, you want a good seat? Like compete at the show, right? So um being able to see that though, I still felt like it was a part of history, and I was the fan that 1 year prior watched Ronnie Coleman guest post in Denver, Colorado. Then a year later, watches him win his eighth Mr. Olympia.
Mm,
That
Oh,
just
wow.
so happened to go to his after party, and next thing you know, I'm invited to the after party.
mm.
So I'm meeting a guy
That's
like
cool.
like I'm saying a year prior. I'm going. He's guest posing after he won the Olympia in October of '04. I'm
Mm.
watching him. I get 4 8x10s. He signs them all. I'm happy as can be. I meet him the following year at his own after party. He lets me hang out with him. Hani Rambot and him were like thick as thieves. And they were like, hey, come hang out with us. I'm like, I say less. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm hanging out with them till like 7 in the morning. Fast forward, I win the Olympia. Now Ronnie Coleman's at my after party. These are
Oh
the things
shit.
that happen. Like
That's
it's just
crazy.
it's crazy. But if I
Mm,
hadn't done bodybuilding, and obviously I hadn't gone to that first Olympia, maybe if
Hmm.
I was insecure and was like, I don't really want to go because these guys are so much bigger, and I'm just going to be in my
yeah.
head about it.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have never experienced
Yeah.
watching history be made in the
Hmm.
flesh and watching Ronnie Coleman win. And then, like I said, go to those after parties. You just never know, man. You might be hanging out with the freaking champion
Mm,
and they
Dude,
be at your after party one day. Because
I,
that's what happened with
mm.
me.
I had to hand out, I had to put the medal on Jay's neck after he lost to Ronnie. So they're like, in second place, Jake. And I would put it on, and the booze, that the whole stage was like, vibrating. And they're like, Frank said, boo! I was like, oh, shit. I still have that clip. I was like, wow. But there's so many different, memories that we both have from the Olympia. But
Uh,
I mean, Ronnie in New York City was just incredible. I remember that one. That was just insane. You guys we had Steve Weinberger. We do a podcast, like we do lives every week, and we were saying you guys both came up in the conversation. Who had, the most memorable poser, this or that? Who's the best poser? And Steve
mm.
was like, Kai, standing on his head, doing the bicycle with his legs, and like flexibility. And we're like, who was like a dominant bodybuilder, like Phill, and who did this, and like who had the best abs as Mr. Olympia? I was like, could it be Phill? Like we were like,
Mm.
you guys always are in the conversation when it comes to the history of bodybuilding. I think you should do a podcast together.
That would tear up the internet.
That's what
You
I think
say
you should
tear it
do.
up.
But
That would tear
we
it up. I
had
mean,
we
we'd
had
be
three
breaded, though,
guests.
Kai. We'd be breaded, bro.
You said,
You get sick of each other, then you'll really fight.
man.
But
Mm.
we had
Podcast that turns into an actual pre-show of the Olympia, a
yeah.
road show like how Shannon and Ocho do. Man, that would be insane.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah,
there you
bro.
go. Or
Hey, I've seen you still staying in shape there, bro. For a minute, I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought there was some smoke or something coming up from under. I was like, wait a minute now.
No, I would have
oh,
called you. I would have I would have called you and
I
said, "Hey,
was like,
man."
I
I would
was like,
have.
wait a minute, because
No, if I always I think I told Hani this. I said if I ever said I was going to do another show, I would call Kai. And he was like, "What?" I said, "No, no, no. Like I would. I was like, man, Kai and I would have to train together because
that would be good.
no, because I'd go to Kai and be like, hey, man, I know you ain't doing this stuff. I'm gonna do this one more time. Hey, why don't we just train for like a month?
Mm,
Because people would go crazy just off of that alone.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
then I go to Jay and train with him for a month.
mm.
Well,
you do stuff like that, then you got
That's a
people.
series right there. That's a
Then you got
series
people
right
really
there.
talking, you know. But that's
I
if you're
smell.
serious, you know. Like, but that was just like how my mind works. I'm like, if I would just do that.
I'm smelling equipment company. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Use these 8 essential machines to pack on the mask that you had back in the day.
Right?
The
You know,
pendulum
Um,
squat.
that sounds like a series right there.
It
Right
yeah,
does.
there. Mm.
yeah. But
Well,
this body is not touching. Yeah, nah.
nah.
It's I had fun.
You
It's
know,
time.
that's the thing. I think
Yeah.
that's one of those things that makes it, you know, because when you're younger, you're gonna be young forever. You know, it's very
Mhm.
hard to be reasonable and really hear when someone says, "Hey, you know, there is a time limit on this. You know, there is a clock that's ticking on that. Like, you know, you don't see games this, you know, 20 and 30 years down the line that you did, you know, 30 years ago. You know,
Uh,
um,
Yeah, you gotta be honest with yourself. Everybody ain't no Dexter Jackson either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work like that. Like, it's
no,
as
no.
much as, and I love the fact that people will say, "Hey, you know, like, I know you ain't running the gear, like you're not doing this, but like, man, you could easily do that." I'm like, you're probably right, but when you walk away from something, it's supposed to hurt.
Yeah. Get that
It's
reckless
supposed to it's
abandonment.
supposed to hurt because you loved it so much. But then you replace it with something else. And once you find that other thing, or if you keep searching for other thing, that's okay. But the good thing is I had to experience that with basketball, you know. So like I had to give that up. And in fact, you know, it was forced upon me to give that up because I just wasn't good enough. But you learn how to deal with those things and you reconcile with yourself and you still have dreams. I still, man, I had a dream the other day about me yelling at, I don't know who it was, but I'm on the bodybuilding stage and I'm telling them, hey, stop creeping up on the line.
Was it
So
Kyle or who was
you're always
it?
gonna have like at least I think so. Like if that was part of your, you know, in so many words, your identity, you know,
Yeah.
it's like the way the brain works. It's like, yeah, man, like I'm always gonna have a dream every now and again of like me hitting a pose or getting ready for a show. Like I've had them. I've had to talk to other licensed professionals and performance coaches. I remember talking to Tim Grover about this. I was like, hey,
mm,
Mm.
like, is that normal? And he goes, Kobe was like that. MJ is still like that. I'm like,
mm.
okay. He's like, you're always gonna think about it. Like you're always gonna have a moment. And and that's just because you have at that competitive spirit. It doesn't go away. You don't shut it off. You just put it towards something else.
Yeah, there times now I still like yeah, I could just. Yeah, I thought I understood. You know, you see movies and you think you know. You
Hmm.
think you know what the character is going through. You know, I kind of understand. Apollo Creed, hey, Apollo is over. You know, that ain't us no more. It's like, you know, there was a time when, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, Apollo. Like,
Yeah.
come on. You know, you're an older guy. Give it up. You know, but then. You don't feel the same way when it's you. It's like,
No.
wait, hold on. I remember I could miss like 3 meals and oh, it looked like I'm 3 weeks out from a show. Like it's I could do that again. Like I can still, you know, like, and the funny part is I don't know if I mean you've seen those people that tried, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
and
It's
it
not good.
yeah, and it's like, ah, yeah.
Bless his
Yeah.
heart. You're saying bless his heart.
We
Nice try.
remember you for when you was.
Mm.
So, but you, I think it's still hard at times to remember. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but then I think it's very easy that if you don't put some safeguards in place, you can end up being that guy. Like,
Oh,
it ain't
100%.
over.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's,
then you end up looking like dog crap, and then everybody like, and you know what the crazy part is, and we see this online. You
Mm.
know, it's like God bless these fans, but like they're fan is short for fanatic.
Mm.
They will push these athletes into doing that decision because you start thinking like, man, like they're really telling me to do this, but they don't know the amount of effort.
No.
And then the things you have to work against. Father
It's
Time is one of them, and I ain't gonna, you just can't. It, that part sucks because there's some times where you think, man, if I could do this one more time in front of these newer kids, like they would understand. But I'm like, but that's how it's supposed to be. Like you had to be there. You just like, hey, and
yeah.
at least we had it in those magazines, and at least we had it. I mean, Kai, you have to. You, I'm sure you've thought about this, but like, how blessed are we to be performing at that level before AI came in?
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow.
technically,
Hmm.
we have
Hmm.
video that was, VHS or
Yeah. Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Nothing got beyond a Blu-ray, right? So like there
Hmm.
was none of that filtering, not like it's just not possible. So now you're able to see people that do AI,
Yeah.
pictures and stuff and filters and all that. It's just
Mm.
it's so nostalgic. It is. I think it's the same. I think personally, I feel like our era will be as nostalgic as what years prior, how we looked at even Arnold's era,
Mm.
because of the fact that they had lower tech
Hmm.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. They
limited.
did. Yeah. Hmm.
Kids now, they're going to be like, well, no kid on this they're watching this that has a DVD in their house.
Look,
Right.
at the very basic level of what made you guys champions, the reckless abandonment, putting yourself under a squat rack with 500 or 600 pounds, saying, I'm gonna go for
Yeah,
get that extra rep, get another rep. Now
yeah.
you're like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Ha.
Because you know that
I'm
one or
like,
two reps could
like
be
I
catastrophic.
yeah, like
It
I'm
could
okay.
be.
This
You just
these X-ray scans look good right now.
Right
you
now,
just you
Like,
don't
which is like,
you don't
really?
think
How did
about
I
it.
do it?
Yeah.
How?
yeah, this
Like
blood work actually looks good right
I
now. Like,
know. You look at this.
blood work. Who
Really?
got
Like, are
blood
you
work back in the
sure?
day?
Are you fooling me?
yeah, like let me go
Yeah.
ahead and not alter any of this. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
That
important, but
Can I keep this up? This is
yeah.
actually are you sure you want to test that again? Like, wow. Okay.
Dude, there were no blood work in the underground books that were out. No one
Yeah.
said to get blood work. You didn't get that
Yeah.
until,
no,
you were done.
no,
Yeah.
no, no,
You
no,
spin
you
the
didn't.
wheel and hope you're,
So,
That's what I'm saying. The people don't
you know
realize.
my heart. He knows my heart.
You're like, just, he's all right.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't realize how difficult it was to get to the level that you guys were at and to what you had to go. Like, look at Ronnie. Like, I used to work out with Ronnie. He worked for Metrics. I worked for Metrics, and I would be doing a workout. Ronnie would be training in the corner. I was training with this guy. We did chest. We did like 30 sets. Ronnie was on his fourth set, wrapping his legs. And my training partner goes, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, he doesn't know what he's doing, or we don't know what we're doing. Because
Yeah.
right there is 8-time Mr. Olympia, but,
Yeah.
squatting 700-800 pounds. It's just, you go at it like you know, you just, you
You
don't
had
think
something to
about it. You
prove.
don't think about it. You
You
just
had
do it.
something. You had something to prove, and I think that's what how champions are really made.
Yeah.
You're not trying to blend in. You're trying to stand out, and you don't care if there's a camera on you or not.
Hmm.
No.
And I think that's where you know. I know that that's probably where the current crop wants to go, but
Mm-hmm.
when you, and this is to all the, especially the open guys, they have to remind themselves that being misunderstood is okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like be authentically yourself, and I'm not saying they're not, but like if that means that you say the wrong thing, that's you being human. But as long as you're getting the work done, that's all they're going to remember is that you cared about the work, and you can own it and say, yep, I put my foot in my mouth of many time or this or that, but at least I was being authentic, because I'm not here to be fake. Because when you're trying to just please people,
Yeah.
you will have a more hollow victories than you ever can imagine.
Hmm.
When, when you look
Hmm.
at this
You
year's
have to be,
lineup at the Mr. Olympia, is there anybody that stands out to you, Kai, that you like, wow, this guy, if he's 100% on, no one's gonna beat him? Do you have a favorite?
if he's 100% on, no one's going to beat him. Oh man, there's a lot of improvements that have been made in this. I would say leading up to this season, this year.
Yeah.
I just saw like some before and after photos of Hottie that are just like I don't they seem to be going viral on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy's he's done so much growing from where he started. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I hear about Samson. You know, I want to see. I mean, I'm excited. You
Yeah.
know,
See him
I
Saturday.
yeah. Well, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, but I mean, it's still not the same as seeing the athlete on
True.
stage.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? It's not.
True.
And then you get a chance to see everybody peaked,
Mm.
dialed in, and then open up, stand up, stay hard. Let's see what's up. I mean, it's
2 days.
2 days. Yeah.
It's also 2 days. Like, yeah, I'm not trying to cut you off there, but it's just I don't see anyone dominant, and that's just how I look at it because I saw Samson at the Arnold UK, and I was like, good lord, like this guy is massive, and
Hmm.
Arnold asked him to lift his shirt up, and he had abs, and I was like, wow, I've never seen that from him,
what was he
and
weighing? What was he weighing at the
he
time?
said he weighed like over 330 or something like that,
He was.
dude. I
Yeah,
was like,
no,
I
I
saw
was
him at
like, that's
350. I saw him at
yeah.
350 at Bev's gym.
Like this is
350.
this is
Get out,
insane. This is another level. But I think
dude.
with that said, I mean, you can't. It's a gamble because, in my opinion, like you can't get that big in the off season and then you lose to a smaller guy like Derek.
Yeah.
Because if that person can make up that much ground on you, then was the 350 really enough?
Mm.
Because then what do you do after that? Is it getting bigger? Or is it just getting leaner? Like, so I think it's a combination. I think with his size and shape. I
his
mean, look,
shape
like
is crazy. His shape is
that's what I'm
absolutely
saying.
crazy.
If he
I
gets peeled, if he
bring his
Kai,
back up.
but if he gets peeled, though, I mean, it's a wrap. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just all
That's what
what it
I
is.
think.
I mean, but
I
how hard is it to do that to get inside out shredded? Like, is
Mm.
like Kai, like you had like the zippered quads, you had the back that was slabbed out. Those are power shots where I think if Samson has something like, I always feel like a Mr. Olympia has to have at least two deadly shots that they don't lose to anyone.
nah. You say that.
I think in this lineup you have to have it
But you uh,
because it's going to go either way. It's like, okay, so then we're splitting hairs
just
on
two
everything.
shots, just two.
No, not just two, not just
Oh,
two. I'm saying at
two.
least I'm talking about that you destroy
Hands down.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like that
Like
means like
Dorian's
because some
back shot.
people like some people will have like like some people will have like a good front double, but like the front lat they're like fourth or
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like you got to be able to have certain shots that like at least that's how I looked at it. I was like, all right, in order
Hmm.
for you to actually say that you dominate people, you got to have Kai. I would agree with you. You got to have more than just two. You got to
Hmm.
have multiple. But that means that anyone in the top three is getting killed
Mm,
by those two shots. It's
mm,
like not even close.
mm.
And I think right now I don't know if there's someone that has like let's say four. Like you need four.
Can't say. Not they're
Because
all
you might split one
comparable.
with another person. You may tie with someone on the fifth one.
Hmm.
Technically, I think there's eight, so like you need 5 to 3 on
Yeah.
everything. But the quarter turns also get judged, right?
Yes, yes.
So you gotta. So that's where I think it's interesting to see because you got Andrew Sampson, two big, I mean, bookends, and
That's
then you
it
got
right there.
Yeah.
Derek, and then you got a Hottie who
Adi.
is short.
And
Yep.
Nick
And then you
and
got
Norton.
Nick, and
Warfield.
then
Yeah.
Nick threw a freaking curveball at everybody this past weekend and did what he did, which I'm
Mm,
happy for him. But at
That's
the
right.
same time, it's not like he doesn't know this, but it's a 2 day show for a reason. You gotta
mm,
nail it on both.
mm.
And you have to assume like everybody's not going to be at their. No one's going to nail it both days. No, like not five guys. Five
Nope.
guys are never going to nail it
Mm.
100%. Like someone's always going to take a chance on
Mm.
Thursday or Friday going into Saturday. There's
True.
always something happens. It's just the way the body is. So
Mm.
yeah,
I'm going
that's just
Ronnie
my thought.
Coleman front bicep, double bicep, double bicep. I'm going Ronnie Coleman back double bicep,
Yeah,
lat spread, most muscular. There's your 4 shots that no one's
there
ever is going to
and
beat
that's
him
why you
in.
dominate. Like that's why
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
that's
dominate.
what I'm
But
Yeah.
saying. Like side
but when you're
chest.
saying
Yeah.
but when
Yeah.
you're saying like, well, if you got five guys up there, including Nick, Hottie, Derek, Samson,
Close.
there's certain shots where you could say, well, maybe Nick edges out on this
Yeah.
one. Maybe Hottie edges out on this one.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't
Conditioning
know.
is going to be key in this one.
Oh,
Conditioning is going to be the answer, because like you said, Phil, not everyone's going to be in top condition. Everybody's so close. I don't know. Hottie's got all that new muscle. I don't know.
if that new muscle gets hard, that's going to be
Yeah,
interesting.
that's what I'm saying. If that's why you got to go to the Olympia,
Yeah. That's
comment
right.
Vegas. Put
That's right. That's right.
it in the DM or whatever. You got
Yeah,
to
That's
throw
right.
the
post all
DM.
that.
Like we did cut the comments off because it was throwing all the comments over our faces. But make sure you go DM
Oh,
Vegas. You got to
yes.
DM
It is.
Vegas as we're doing a contest. So,
And by the way,
um,
our guests are gone. Mike O'Hearn's on set. He's like, I'm
Oh
watching you
shit.
guys with Kai. He goes, I'll let you guys. I said, okay, no problem. And we had like 2 or 3 other guests. I'm like, all right, another time because we're just gonna
another
end
time,
the time.
guys.
Because I saw the time and I was like, I'm not cutting Kai off. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Uh oh.
No, you're good.
I think Kai. I think they'll understand.
He'll
Oh.
understand. It's my fault.
Oh.
To be in the front row of this, it's great. I hope people like when we break these into reels and put them out. Watch what happens.
Well,
Should be
sure.
good. There's gonna be a
That should
lot
be
of
good.
attention. Phil, Kai, you going to the Olympia? Will you be at the
Yes.
expo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be at the expo. I'll be at the Olympia weekend. I'll get a chance to see you guys in
Oh, awesome.
person,
Perfect.
Nice.
mix it
Yeah.
up.
Good.
Um, but yeah, it's really good to see you stepping up. And it's so funny because you can see football, you can see the NBA, you can see athletes that you know kind of move on to new careers after their stint being a pro athlete, um, and move into new avenues of opportunity, and develop themselves into even more financially successful men,
Yeah.
doing some really awesome things and actually making a difference in the continued development of the sport that they love. So it is awesome to see the two of you doing that today. I am very thankful and honored to be able to be a guest on your
Yeah.
program today.
Well, I
Well,
was a guest
appreciate
as
it.
well, and then when Frankie brought up you, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. And I'm just gonna say thanks, Kai. Like our time is very precious. I get it, but to be able to share space with you anytime, man, I'm down for it. And I look forward to seeing you this weekend over at
Yeah.
Devs.
Same.
And
Yeah, we'll be at Bev's. I'll see you too, Frankie. That's
Yeah,
what's
man.
up, man. We gonna kill it this
Yo,
Saturday.
get that
yeah,
free
Just
shake, the free shake in the posing room. No, it'll be really good to see you, Kai, and
yeah.
I know that
right
we're all
on.
looking forward to this. I think there's 21 Olympia titles. Ronnie will be there, Jay will be there, Derek, Sampson, I'm pretty much Corey Everson, Linda Murray, Bev Francis. There's gonna be a crowd. I know that we're set up and because we wrote the book, we volunteered to get some sound bites from you guys. So I won't keep you. This. I know it's supposed to be 20 minutes, but I promise you it'll be 5-10 minutes. We're done. I promise you. But now
Oh,
I look forward to seeing both of you. And Phil, thank you.
thank
Obviously on
you.
the Olympia's behalf, and Dan Solomon also was instrumental in putting this together.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, and maybe we have to get the other guests back on to
Yeah, we'll have to do that again,
yeah.
just to get their insights on the Olympia, obviously the competitors, and we got to hear their thoughts about like who they think is going to win, because
Yes.
they probably got their